there are some things I've done that really bother me. Some records I wish I could do over again. So in this video, I'm going to critique my own work, and we're going to start with the album Rescue by the band Silverstein. Now, this was my first label project, the first time being hired by a band already on a label and being paid directly by the label. So let's check out a little bit of a song here. All right, so I produced and engineered this record. Cameron Webb mixed it, and I think that it sounds good. It sounds good, but to me, it's overproduced and also underproduced at the same time. And in terms of overproduced, what I mean is, like, I'm not sure if you noticed, but basically, over a minute into the song here, pretty much every word of the vocal has been harmonized and layered. Like, even as I'm listening to this now, all these years later, that's bothering me, that it's like the same vocal stack and layers like the whole time. It doesn't change. Let's keep listening.
Down inside as you confide your life to someone else. Maybe we're scared to be alone. We're not prepared to throw this stone.
So every word of the lead vocal is harmonized, and then we've got these kind of echoing background layers that come in right away from chorus one, right? And there's nowhere else to go with vocal production and layers because it's all in right off the top the whole time, right? And to be honest, I know that looking back, my focus when I was making this record was on trying to be technically impressive, right? Especially with vocal layers and harmonies, rather than focusing on just the feel and what would feel right for each song and each part. And so if you listen to this record, most of the songs are, I think, overproduced vocally. Too many layers everywhere. It just stays layered all the time. It doesn't build and grow and change throughout the song, and that's totally my fault. That's definitely something that I corrected, and I did a much better job of on the next two records I made with them. And I think that's true of some other elements on this record as well. If you listen to it, it's very clean. It's very precise. The guitar takes are all perfectly perfect. I think it needs more attitude, like more character, more oomph. And that's definitely not a mix thing. It's not a band thing. That's me. That I take total responsibility for that. And again, I was just too focused on the technical. And that's what I mean about being overproduced and underproduced at the same time. The underproduced part is that I didn't really do anything to make the songs extra special and unique. There really aren't that many extra touches or cool features across the record. And the funny thing is, right after this album was released, they came back into the studio and we recorded this kind of mini release called Short Songs. And I actually still love how this one sounds. Let's check out a little bit here.
And I can't protect this anymore. I can't reflect this light that you shine on me. So I'm giving up. I'm giving in. I'm selling up. I'm selling in. Judge me for what I've done. So take your shot now. So take your swing. Start a fight because you know you will win. We're perfect touches.
So this was a short deadline. It wasn't really like an official record, so it was a much more casual feel and mindset to the sessions. And it was very quick and dirty the way we recorded it. And it's not like there's any mistakes. I'm not saying that. It's well done, but it also has attitude and character, and it has a certain vibe that is a cohesive vibe. So, overall, I'm super thankful that I got to work with Silverstein for a bunch of years, and I certainly learned and grew a lot as a producer over those 4 or 5 years. we work together. All right, next record is Animacy by Dead and Divine. Let's listen to the first track here.
My heart's riddled with stitches. I'm an asphyxiated kind of blow. I've become arthritis from touching you. I've become arthritis. Oh, anesthetic don't come cheap. We all fall down here. We all fall down. You wide and tasteless, wide-eyed and shameless. Do you get it yet? My conscience.
Okay, so overall, I actually still feel pretty good about this record in every way except one. It's the snare. The snare. I hate the snare sound. It bums me out so much. And I've had a lot of people comment on this YouTube channel that, they love the drum sound on this record. I've had multiple people tell me that, but I just can't. I don't know. The thing that makes it worse for me is that the drummer who played on this record was amazing. Like, a super tight drummer, hit his drums perfectly, like on every hit. And then I end up with this cookie cutter, boring, plasticky sounding snare sample on the record, To be honest, at this point in my career, I didn't really like any of the snare sounds on any record I did up to this point. And pretty much right after doing this record, I was able to step up my mixing game. I finally figured out the snare thing, and I didn't really struggle with it that much after this point. And so maybe that's why it bothers me so much. Like I know that just a few months after this record was done, I could have done much better. I would have had a much better snare sound, but maybe I'm just in my head about that, and maybe it sounds fine. I mean, other people like it. I don't know, but the snare sound on this record, it just haunts me. And really the drums in general. I wish there was just more room sound, more explosiveness, more character in the drums, but otherwise, I really like the tones on the record, guitar and bass. I like the vocals. I like the vocal production. I think aside from the snare, the mix is good. It's a cool record, and it's a big shame that the band broke up really soon after this. By the way, I want to tell you about a free mixing cheat sheet I have available for you. It's a chart I made that has all of the go-to starting points for EQ and compression for kick, snare, toms, bass, basically all the tracks in a typical rock mix. And you can go and grab that free mixing cheat sheet at mixcheatsheet.com, and there's a link down below as well. All right, I'm going to show you one more, and this one actually never came out, at least not with my mix. It's a song by Taking Back Sunday called Beat Up Car. Now, I got a chance to test mix for this record, and here's the mix that I threw into the ring.
But you can't lie to me. There's a difference between what you want and what you need.
Now, just so you can hear the difference, this is the mix that they actually ended up choosing for the record. Drums are way roomier. Everything is just more raw sounding, right?
You can lie to those white coats, but you can't lie to me. There's a difference between.
So I didn't get picked for this mix project, and I was pretty bummed about that. I still am, because it would have been a really great credit to have, especially at that time. This is back in like 2013, and I simply wish I could have done better. I wish the mix was good enough for them to have picked me. I sometimes think maybe I never would have gotten it anyways, no matter how good my mix was. I've been in a few of these test mix scenarios, and I honestly think most of the time the band already knows who they want to go with, whether it's for name recognition or association with previous bands that they've worked with. I think the decision is usually already made, but they just go and get 4 or 5 other guys to mix it just in case, to give them a feeling of a backup plan or some sense of security or something. Like, I don't really know. It's just my experience. Most of the time, the test mix exercise is kind of a waste. But I ended up mixing this song again, kind of just for fun and also for a live stream, just kind of a ground up mix that I did a few years ago inside my paid program. So I'll play it again, my 2013 mix, and then I'll flip to my 2021 mix. So here's the original one.
You can lie to those white coats, but you can't lie to me. There's a difference between what you want and what you need. Over the rainbow with no wind inside. Rest easy, stockpile the rest of your life in place.
So gave it more of a roomy, bra vibe.
So if you're interested, I'll take you anywhere. I'll buy some beat up car. We could get out of here. I'll take you anywhere that you want to go.
So that's a better mix. I think it's more in line with what the bands would have liked. And who knows, maybe if I submitted that one at first, I could have gotten the project. Maybe I just needed to be better. I just wish I could have landed that one, right? And the point of all this is that done is better than perfect. Like, these records all moved my career forward despite all of the flaws. And even the mixes I did last year or 2 years ago, I can do better now. Like, I'm not any different than anyone else in that way, right? We always feel this way about our work, and I have since the very beginning. And the only difference is that it never stopped me. Like, I never stalled on finishing projects and getting it out there, even when I was terrible, at the very start. But then even on records like that Dead and Divine project, I wasn't happy with the snare when I turned in the final mix. Like, even at that point, I wished it was better, but time was up. It was a deadline. It had to be, turned in, and it had to be that way. So don't let yourself hang on to projects for months and months trying to make it perfect, right? It's not ever going to be perfect. So just finish projects, finish stuff on time, and get it out there, get it out into the world, and then move on. Like, that's the only way that you're going to grow and get better and progress. And especially if you're trying to build a career, that's the only way people are going to find out who you are and what you do. So these records, they all helped me grow, but there was a time when I actually wanted to quit working on music altogether forever, and I almost did. So watch this video next for my story on the dark side of audio engineering.